tie for your mamuni akwaba eba Melodies Podcast YouTube channel so. Names a Men's Gold and the xylophone in Senseno Egusu Echa. Nankofu bebre name the full effect of a year to me kratana EOCO and Ra Omunyaya no. Uyobia wu nim de Asia and Rami report say I was asem so na video no ewa me channel nimu. Ubetumi ako na wako share. A year EOCO enya to me krata a year courts. Amomo order say omun season and omun freezing and appearance and the properties and a EOCO for a leste omo leste in Sasia ewo trasako in Danya ewo trasako almost also leste a year Men's Good Properties nibi almost also leste a year xylophone media ankasa as an institution na say ya bo xylophone media din na say xylophone TV and xylophone FM near EOCO down and misanso report was so xylophone TV and xylophone FM omo release a year press statement say EOCO for ede omonsa ato omo 26 ano omuntumi operate biom na in some way ni ano wo hwa nkofo kasa wo hwe public no ma ebi mu eni age ebi mu nso omo eni ngie as obi a me di eye industry nechi me di industry nechi for some time no me feel say seni anyama akono enye because yes wo hwe xylophone na apia mensa at least obo industry no me feel say udi boni kra still abane de the abiness or no but me feel said the approach the government took initially no was not the right approach but see maybe I do into what can one sem cry into me and yeshe na nkofo bebre wo ho omunte nsem na se ye omunim the effect omunim the ebesi me wa discussion bi wo ha say me botrewa ye omo a omo ye a lawyer for ebi mu akasa nti no mekwa kobo eye discussion no enye say a lawyer for full lawyers for but lawyer for a omo di eye entertainment industry nim omo akasa atre so ombe explain bi bia atre mu ye nti netie for yenkofa eye audio no yenkofa discussion on this whole matter the ABC from now.
Men's Gold, xylophone and related companies. In a press release signed by the head of public affairs at EOCO, Jacqueline Avotri, the court order for the freezing of properties and assets of Men's Gold Ghana Limited includes that of associated companies affiliated to the embattled Men's Gold CEO, Nanapia Mensah. The associated companies, which are stated in the news release, are 7 in number, and they include Men's Gold Office Complex, Xylophone Art Complex, Brew Marketing Consult, Star Madrid Football Club, Xylophone Music and Media Company, Brew Energy Company Limited, G-Tech Automobile Service. Well, I think that's it with the 7. EOCO also listed 2 properties located at Trasako Valley, plot number 315 and plot number 337, as well as a plot of land near Oak Street at Trasako Valley, and an uncompleted residence and a 510-acre of land. The press release also called on all employees of the affected companies, relatives and friends of the Men's Gold CEO who have in their possession any of the named properties to surrender all such assets to EOCO in their own interest. According to EOCO, failure to submit all of such properties will constitute a contempt of court and will attract the appropriate sanctions. By this news release, all employees of the affected companies and friends who are in possession of any of such properties are to surrender same by the authority of the High Court to the Economic and Organized Crime Head Office and regional officers in their own interest. Failure to do so will constitute contempt of court, which will attract the appropriate sanctions, the statement read. EOCO also entreated the general public to assist in the investigation process by avoiding adequate information to facilitate the retrieval of all vehicles and other properties belonging to any of the companies mentioned. Why people you say get letter? Where you issue statement? Why are you asking us to assist? Me,
I want you to snitch.
They
are appealing to the snitches in society.
Let me start with you on this issue.
Why me?
If you don't open your mouth. Yesterday I warned you not to talk. Henceforth, if you open your mouth to talk, you talk out to the end of the show. That will be your punishment. So let me start with you.
For me, I think it's unfortunate. Yes, because people are going to lose their, ends meet. Yeah, and that is not funny because people have, projected their lives based on the fact that they receive salaries from Xylophone or they work with one of these affiliated companies, and they have planned their lives on that particular line. Then all of a sudden, it's like the rug gets snatched under from your feet. It's not something that anybody would like. So on that particular score, I feel very, very bad for the workers, and I hope that they are able to get a place to work. It's not going to be easy because the media landscape is really choked, and the economy is not too friendly to us. Well, most organizations want to lay off staff, so employment is going to be something that is going to be really difficult, if you ask me. So on that particular note, Charlie, it's just bad. But on the other side, people who have invested monies in Men's Gold are a bit happy. Some of them see light at the end of the tunnel. They believe that within a short period of time, they may recoup some of their investments. All is not going to get lost. It's. I don't know why Nana Pia Mensah decided to do this kind of arrangement with the state. It was reported earlier that they were in talks with the state. That is, Nana Pia Mensah was in talks with the state to sell some of his properties, but the argument was on whether the family should take the sale on or whether it should be government. But now it looks like government has taken hold of the sale issue, and I think that is the most appropriate thing. They can pay the monies off by reconciling accounts that they've received from Men's Gold and seeing how best they can sort some people out. So it's a very dicey issue. I might say some people would be happy, some people would be sad, but that's how it is. Now, if I want to talk about the properties that the artists have in their possession, that's also where the shoe is going to pinch, because most of them have acquired this new lifestyle. Kumi guitar, either two was not that comfortable. He now has a Sonata, and they move around town like big boy. All of a sudden, then they come take the Sonata from you.
Go for the easy side.
Yeah.
Snatch and all that.
Go the radio top where they talk.
Go for the easy side, though.
Yeah.
Guitar is not the only artist side.
Yeah. No, but he's the one who came out on radio. He's the one who came out on radio to talk about the fact that he had been given a car, and which was still under the the signage of Xylophone. So it gives the authorities a pointer that they are going to roam on the celebrities who have been signed by Xylophone, to surrender any properties they have in their possession. But if you are lucky enough to register the documents of the car under your name, or Nana Pia Mensah gives it to you, it will be difficult to collect. But then again, good, that is where that issue is going to come from. You pay 15% of the cost of the car. Gift tax.
Which is worse, it's good.
Oh, but it's better.
It's better.
Gift tax.
Yes.
But in this instance, it's not a gift.
It's a gift.
I
That's a
signed
gift.
a contract with you.
No, some of them
So
may
you pay the
have been
appropriate
gifted
taxes.
with the cars.
So you pay the appropriate taxes on it.
Well, if it's part of the contract, why do you classify it as a gift?
Yeah,
So
don't
you pay. No.
You see-
What he's saying is that not
Please
all
use
of
your
them,
microphone,
okay,
Sudi.
not all of them may have gotten it as part of a contract.
Okay.
Yeah, some
And
of them,
that
even
is-
though they signed a contract, it may not have included that. That
Okay.
could have been a gift to them. In that
Okay.
instance, if
That
it turns
makes
out that
sense.
it's a gift and the documentation
That is,
proves
if it's
so,
not cited in a contract
Yes.
that
It's
you're
part-
entitled to a vehicle,
a vehicle,
and
then
better
you
yet,
still got it.
we find you in a vehicle
Yes.
under.
There are two things. Look, there are two things. Either it's still in the name of the company or Nana Pia Mensah, which then will become his property and would have to go back to the state because it's a court order. If you don't do that, you'll be in contempt of the court. That's one. Or if your claim is that, he gifted it to me and there's documentation to prove that in actual fact he gifted it to me, and they are able to prove that, that's fine. Then they will probably ask you.
What if there is no documentation?
But
Better yet, it's not inscribed in the contract that you are entitled to a mobile phone
Then it's not your
or a
property.
car.
Then it's not yours at all.
Andy, there is this. I don't know how it's going to play out with this scenario. I don't know. Let's just, brainstorm on this.
Yeah.
You know, imagine that it's been proven or it's been suspected that proceeds of a certain venture was illegally used
To acquire
to
those
acquire
vehicles.
something for you under contract.
Okay.
Are you getting where I'm coming from?
Okay.
And even if it's under contract, if it's been proven,
Caveat emptor.
thank you.
I feel we should leave.
Yeah, so,
We should leave
maybe
the-
lawyer. Oh, yeah.
Maybe lawyer.
There's something called caveat
Yeah.
emptor, which means
Ca-
that
career what?
caveat emptor.
Caveat.
Yeah, you need to be aware.
please
Beware.
say-
Buyer
hey,
beware.
hey, hey,
Buyer
hey,
beware.
hey. You know, we come here, we learn.
Oh, this guy.
Oh.
You go ahead.
So if
See your man. Oh, do not so grow. I'm in trouble.
so you
No,
see,
make you explain the car.
no, buyer beware. Like
Buyer beware.
anytime you want to buy something,
you need to
No,
be
the word is
aware.
not caveat. Stop use. You won't use words. Onus.
Yeah.
This is close to some.
How do
This is
I
close to
know?
something news.
What is onus?
the onus is on you
Where you see
to
how?
To know exactly.
or
what-
Caveat
to check
to
whether the
them.
thing is good or not. So if you, through your own negligence, go and buy some quack thing or some illegal thing or something
some stolen car.
stolen car,
Be liable for-
you'll be liable for it.
for it
You're
as
going to lose it. It's just like somebody go take something from somewhere. We can't sell, give you. You pay money, give them. But when it's found out that the thing was stolen from somewhere, they'll come and collect it. You go and
They will
take
not
it.
only collect.
They'll
it.
arrest you
They
for
could-
anything
yeah,
like
you could
this.
go inside. There's
So in effect,
So
it's
it's a very
EOCO should go in like finching, people could be in trouble.
yeah. It's a no.
No. It depends.
No, it depends.
It
That's what I'm
depends.
saying.
Hey,
that we are
it depends.
brainstorming on the
You
issue.
know.
I don't know how it's going to pan
It
out.
depends.
Or the method they are going to use.
It's a legal matter.
It's a legal issue.
Ordinarily, if I was any of them today,
Oh,
in
yes.
part of it,
You
one of the
just-
first things I'll do is to start to speak to my lawyer.
Yeah.
Start to speak to my if my lawyer or my lawyers were not party to
You
the
can
contract.
continue
If the
with that.
Okay, if the lawyers were not party to the contracts before, then this is the time for you to begin to speak to them because it's very important. Look, they got a court order. It's very important. They don't know it. They didn't just go and even so it is binding. If you fail to apply, for instance, if the car you have a possession, the notice has gone wide, it's been published, and so there wouldn't be any excuse for you to say you didn't know about it or you, particularly if you're in the jurisdiction. But the point is simple. Once it's been communicated to the organization and there's a semblance of a response by the organization because there's a release on the cease of some operations of the business, it means that you are aware. Now, if for whatever reason you don't come up and say that, well, this property was given to me by ABCD by saying I'm one, and I don't have the documentation for it, so I think that reasonably it is his property, and it's found out that in fact his property is with you, you can be in contempt of the court, and that's also a serious matter. You know, and which they stated. You understand? So, like Don is saying, it's unfortunate that this is happening for a lot of reasons. We know how, regardless of all the situations, how number one injected some bit of fresh air in the space. We've always been calling for investment and asking for funds and all of that because funding entertainment projects in this part of town is really very, very, very difficult. And so the wish has always been that we would at least find some investment. So when he came, it was welcoming, it was good. And in fact, he's helped to build a lot of things. So it's unfortunate in that regard. It's also unfortunate within the context of the fact that the whole process could also discourage possible other investors. Some of us that are involved in the business or showbiz, the business part of it, have consistently been trying to woo investors, people with money to spend money in the business. We've been building numbers, models, showing and proving some of the models and everything. And I know one of them, for instance, who called and says, my guy, you're always talking about some numbers and how profitable it is, and you believe in the industry and everything. If this industry was that profitable, how come this particular investment couldn't yield anything to save the situation? So it will be an unfortunate situation in that regard as well. And of course, the third one is what Don mentioned. It's unfortunate and it's bad that people that you regard as friends, people that you regard as colleagues in the industry who are working within the setup are going to lose their business because of how all this is going. It's also unfortunate. But on the other hand as well, and also on the part of people who the state is supposed to protect from day one, who they didn't protect anyway. I mean, once they are happy because it's their investment. So, of course, on that side, they'll be happy. Even though some of us still believe that the state from the get-go should have done the right thing. They cannot, the regulators or the state agencies cannot escape this. They had the duty of care to ensure from the beginning. Somebody was making the point that, but he is not on license with them. But then, and then people were quick to remind them that no, the regulations the regulations that give power to these people does not regulate organization. It regulates activity. So once there's a semblance of a certain activity going on, and you have, reasonable information per where you said, you needed to have stepped in to do the right thing. Either call them together and say, my guy, come and license or do the right thing, or you stop the operations from the beginning, from the get-go. And so they particularly need to take the blame for this. They had caused all of this. It's unfortunate we're having to discuss it, but that's the point. But to everybody that is involved as well, it's also a matter of law.
The state.
Yeah, the state through them. Yeah.
I'm happy you didn't say government, but
no, the state. I say the state.
That's very good.
Because of course the BOG and co are state organizations and not necessarily government.
And there was overflow.
But of course, government supervises it
to the other.
Yeah, but government supervises it.
Started from 2015.
No, so that's why I keep on saying the state.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm very happy you are talking about the state.
No. I mean, it's not essentially. It's just that government supervises these things. You understand? Some of the state organizations, the main leaders organizations respond to their boards and then sector ministers. So I mean, of course, to the people that want to politicize
I'm just talking about the spillover.
Okay, you're
from one administration,
yes,
that's the NDC administration, into the MPP.
That is fact.
Let's just get that one.
No,
clear.
that is fact. That is fact.
From the way you are trying to put things, it looks as if the thing happened under.
Oh no, but that's why I kept on. You yourself said it and said the state. Yes, so the state. When I say the state, it's not necessarily the government.
Nose.
There are organizations under the state that are supposed to ensure that these things are, or regulations of this nature are adhered to. The BOG is one of them. SEC is one of them. You understand? So that's the point that I'm making. So it's unfortunate, but for everybody that's party to this and knows about this, if you have it, my advice would be simple: go and submit it. Particularly if you know you don't have the documentation for it. For the people who signed contract and have documentation for it, for now, they can hold on to it. But then again, like Don is saying, if it goes along the line and there's a certain legal ruling process and there's a ruling that it was actually crime, then there can be another side to it where people can be cited for probably dishonesty receiving or being benefiting from proceeds of crime. So I mean, it's a very, very unfortunate situation for the industry, but this is where we are.
First of all, okay, I wish I could get someone from EOCO to ask that all these things, what are they doing that for? To replenish cash, to refund cash?
Yes.
No, not refund.
No,
first
I
and
feel
foremost,
it's a process.
Yeah, it's a process. So first and foremost, the security they need to take stock of it.
Yeah.
In the event that when there's a certain ruling against him and there will be the need to do a certain refund, at least they would have some things to hold on to. But most importantly, it's a process for it. Ordinarily, per their investigations,
and it
when
ends
they
up
started,
in paying off people.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what Andy's asking.
it may not eventually.
No,
So
first,
where is the money going?
No, I
Listen.
mean, if it turns out that on the charges that he is taken to court on, he's not. There's no any.
The genesis of this whole matter is men's gold.
Yes,
And
I
the
get
fact
you.
that people's monies are locked up there that they cannot retrieve.
Yeah, but
No,
it
but
may not necessarily
Yeah,
be
you see,
towards
because
giving back to.
Oh, but what
family.
are you saying? That you take all these properties and
Done.
then
There are
you sit on it?
You know,
and
there are
don't
two
give
parts.
people's
There are two
monies
parts
to
of
them?
it. There's a civil part and there's a
Sure.
public law part.
I know.
The public law part is for the what is the-
Politically, to be very unwise to do that.
What is the charge
that's-
For
against
the
that-
you?
government to do
well,
that
well,
would be
no,
very
well,
unwise.
It's a matter of the law. It's not a matter of what the government can.
Allow him to educate us on that. I'm very sure you already know. So if I mean, he
Yes.
can come in. You know, we don't. So yeah. So you were saying
there are two parts
two
to it. There's a civil part to it where some of the individual people that were involved can actually take him on. Some of them are actually reported him for fraud, and he's being pursued for fraud as at the last statement that came from the police for. That is what he's wanted for. And fraud is crime. It's criminal. So in that instance, there are two things. Either he goes in and at a point in time, I'll check. But in terms of the process, at a point in time, if he can plead to refund, I think there's a way he can use that to mitigate. But most importantly, the questions would always be, if he's eventually jailed or there's a ruling for him, then the distance he suffers, what he suffers is that punishment and not refund.
So what happens?
You fraud me. Wait, you fraud me. I report you to the police.
You're confusing the issues.
Hey, I'm getting a bit
You're
confused.
a baby lawyer.
You fraud me. You fraud me. I report you to the police.
You scam.
You scam me.
Right.
I take you to the police. I report you. They arrest you. They take you to court. You're charged. You are found guilty for the fraud. You will go inside. It doesn't mean say I will get back.
Go inside as in go to prison.
Yes, because there's a punishment specified for it in the criminal code.
Right.
So you will go inside. When you go inside, it doesn't mean that I will get my thing back.
That's you suffer for
yes,
it.
that'll be the punishment you suffer because it'll be crime. Crime will cease to be crime when there's no.
No, but when it goes ahead to
it.
take property belonging to you, ostensibly to be given to people who made them prefer that charge against you in the first place. In the first place, how did he come by this charge defrauding by false pretenses?
Yeah.
It was because people from Men's Gold went to report
yes,
that their monies have been locked up. And then from narrations that we've had, it's been reported, Daily Guide reported a few days ago that Namwan is in talks with the government to take some of his properties to sell to offset cost.
That is
the
how he's trying
genesis.
to mitigate.
That's the genesis of the matter. Yeah, so let's put it in context so that we can understand what EOCO is doing.
That will be by a court order.
Yes, of course.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's a
I mean,
process.
once the state
He has to go
agrees,
through a court
it
Yes,
must
so
simply
that
go
they
through
began the
court order.
process by going to first freeze the what do you call
The
it?
assets.
The assets. And after they'll go on. Yeah.
No. EOCO is empowered by the law.
Yeah.
That's all. Yes.
So they'll
they
go
are
on to
this
go
one.
and get a court order.
And they got
to
the
that
court order
effect.
into that effect.
Yes.
In fact,
To sell the property and reimburse people whose monies have been locked up there.
we'll check again. But I don't think the
First of all,
option is to reimburse first and
Okay,
foremost.
so these
No,
things,
if you want
in
to
case, excuse me, guys.
The traditional
So in
background.
case, excuse me, Chrissy. So in case the assets are not up to the task,
Yes, you see the point.
then what?
No, they'll conduct an audit. I've heard that they are conducting an audit. Those who have received dividends for a number of months, clearly, if maybe you took 500,000 Ghana.
Don't forget, the state himself came back and said that because they were not under regulation from them or for anybody, they couldn't or they can't reimburse people. What would be the basis for reimbursement?
No, the basis for reimbursement is that the very person who is alleged to have committed the crime's
you go pay
property, yes, it's been
So
used.
he himself say you go pay.
Yes.
back.
But Sadiq, let's take the things, take it slowly. I think you are going too deep.
Too fast.
Yeah, and it's confusing. Now, the person who supposedly is under investigation of a particular crime has confined in the state and told the state that these are my assets, sell them from his own, from what we gathered.
Yes.
He says sell them.
No, why is it being confined? And
No, he has confined in the state. He has provided himself to the state.
And they allow.
No.
Like he's confided in the state.
Okay, so he confided in
Yeah,
the state.
exactly.
Okay.
That these are my properties, sell them, and anything that you may lay on. He did that on condition that I'm seeing that he's feeling the pains of people whose monies are locked into the system. And so supposedly he's trying to see a possibility of states selling one or two to make sure that at least some monies are gathered. Now, on a second thought also, the state has got a mandate. The mandate of the state, that goes with anybody. From what we have seen, Woyomi and everything, even Kwesi Anteji, whenever you are involved with a particular crime of a financial related issue, the first thing the state does is to maybe freeze your assets, your accounts, and what have you. You understand? And then they take the process of if it goes to court, because it will not just be a matter of the other matter to no, you have to be taken to court, and then when you are taken to court, and then the court finds you guilty of the particular act, and then you are not incapable, you are incapable of paying, then the state will look at all the assets they have confiscated, and then possibly value them. You understand? Value them, and then see a possibility of selling to recoup some of the money, which may be supposedly
to repay the
to repay. So right now, what the state is trying to do is to gather all the assets, not as they are selling, but they are gathering all of them, because the man has not been tried. Somebody has not been tried. How can you go ahead and sell the person's property?
No, you said that, right? That's exactly what he said. But you see, let's not forget this. I want to come in here before you finish.
My learned friend, you come in then. But you see,
I'm not a learned friend though.
Before we proceed to this one, I think that the argument is getting exciting because as at this moment where we sit, I'm believing that from September, October, November, December, up to January, ending February, it is taking too much of a long time for this exercise to be carried out. And by virtue of what this country represents and what we know, if anybody wants to change document or do transfer or whatever it is, or take monies out of the state, it is too much of enough time to do that. Anybody who has got any property, either cars or whatever, because close people who knows who are with the person knows that this will be the end result. It's either everybody in this country, even me, I know. Say if you are involved with any criminal matter, the first thing that you have to order is to protect your asset, or else. That's why big men usually, when they are in big.
What are you suggesting? You are
they
suggesting
don't
that people around Namwan knew.
That's what I'm saying. That listen to me before you concur. Now,
the man is trying to speak.
I'm trying to speak, and you have to listen to me. I'm saying that even me that I'm here, that is why big men, when they are in positions, they don't even open accounts and then buy properties in their name. We know big men buy property.
That is if they are doing illegal.
If they are doing illegal business, they open their sisters' name.
They buy some future.
Exactly, they buy properties in their sisters and this in them, and all that kind of thing, because they know of that. If in case of anything happens, my assets will be confiscated. But if it's confiscated and it's not in my name, so me don't go. That's true. So at this time, I don't understand why it has taken the state almost about 6 to 7 months to react on this matter.
Now this message, let me read this message. It is quite interesting. Martin, my friend Martin from Farmhouse, he says, good morning, sir. I heard he shared iPhones at his birthday. So do they have to bring them to court or pay gift tax?
Gift tax.
Gift tax.
Yeah, gift tax. Just have to prove that it was gift.
So suppose he gave me an iPhone. Who knows?
Wow, but
unless it is documented.
Yeah, it's proven. You cannot escape the law.
All right, I know you take over.
And the last point.
Quick, allow him to speak. He has not spoken.
The interview Kumi Guitar granted over the weekend indicated, he himself said it, that most of the properties that were given to him particularly were still in the name of the company, and it is after serving your contractual obligations before it will be transferred back into your name. That is the information reviewed on Peace FM this Saturday.
That's good.
I was sitting by him when the gentleman said that. He himself said it.
He's just being honest.
First of all, he said that he was signed on $100,000 contract. Yes, I was sitting by him. He said he was signed on $100,000. Because somebody asked him, so did you receive $100,000? He said, yes. I received $100,000. And then a house. That
is why when the criminal issue starts, lawyers will tell everybody, if you get lawyers, say,
keep quiet.
Keep quiet.
And
don't go talk plenty.
Yeah, and I felt that interview was very much, it was a dangerous.
I think that somebody needs to.
It doesn't matter what if he says it was a lie.
Andy, somebody needs to begin to pinch Kumi and say, Kumi, that look, be quiet. The media there, with the need for headlines, will go push you and push you and push you. It's not everything that you say. Particularly things that you may not, because these things that you said, 100,000. If it turns out that you've not paid the appropriate taxes to it, or the organization has not paid the appropriate taxes to it, Adani Asem.
By force, you for cough.
Of course, what did they talk about?
Yeah, in any state, you have to pay taxes of $100,000.
Right, please.
Your earnings,
I
income
was
tax.
coming to what exactly Sadiq is saying. You see, at this point, we have friends, we have colleagues, we have people like we are very close to who are in this mess together, right? At this point, I feel we should be talking to them and telling them what to do, especially those of us who know the law a little bit. We need to be talking to these people because at this point, whatever you say or do could be used against you in the law of
No,
court.
but they have already done that.
No.
Check the interviews on
How
social
many
media.
of them have
It's on
spoken? How many of them have
every
spoken?
platform. It's on every platform.
No, that's on Kumi guitar. That's on Kumi guitar. It's not on others.
It matter.
That's on him. It's not on others. Whatever he said doesn't mean it applies to everybody. That's on him.
But it gives a clue. To
No, but at the end
EOCO,
of the day,
yeah,
at the end of the
to
day,
go looking at documents to make sure whether it's
Sure,
But were you not also here when there was a car, there was an issue at bus stop? Somebody with
Chance.
gunshot for people
Stonebwoy,
to
Bulldog.
return cars.
well,
Like, they are free to
yeah,
make
yeah.
money.
Well,
The first showdown.
no, but the thing is that what I'm saying is that whatever you just said, is it on record? It might not be on record, but what Kumi Guitar said is on record.
No, that is on record.
Right? So, Andy, I feel we should be looking at the other things and then leave the very technical ones to the lawyers. But one of the things we should be looking at is we should be looking at our colleagues and then our friends who are in this mess, how best or how well we can, educate them, how well we can talk to them, how well we can comfort them in this situation. Because we might take it on a very light note, but things are really happening. We've forgotten about the psychological effect, the trauma they might be going in right now. Because Oyege, as he said, people were not used to this kind of lifestyle. And within some few months, things have changed. It could affect them psychologically. We should be, those of us who are very close to some of these guys, we should start calling them, talking to them, and then in some way comforting them a little bit. Because if we don't take care, things could happen. Apart from people whose money, I wouldn't want to use certain words, apart from people who have their money there with men's code or whatever it is. Apart from them, the people who were used as figures to, get these people to bring their monies to men's code, that are friends and colleagues. Well, I don't know if the ambassadors.
Oh yeah, they were ambassadors.
Those people, I feel, we should be talking to, and then those people, I feel, we should be comforting at this moment because it's not a child's play. This is the law court, and as he said, you see, when we started talking about it, then we were diving into the technicalities. This thing could be something really crazy and really huge.
No, but I'm not sure that the people too who are involved themselves too also know of the magnitude, because you see there are too,
That's why I said that.
there's too
That's
much
why I
of
said that
sentiment.
if you
There's
don't,
too much.
that's
There's
why I
too
said
much
that
of
if you don't at
sentiment.
this point
Huh.
begin to talk
But-
to your
but
lawyer.
Sadiq-
Or just be quiet.
But Sadiq, you see, there's
talk to
too
your
much
lawyer.
of sentiment in this whole process, because in as much as we are industry people and we believe that we share
Sentiment
we
doesn't
share in
have
the
a place in
frustrations
law.
of our brothers who are in this.
The emotions
We share in the
and
frustrations
sentiments.
of our brothers who are in this
No,
matter.
doesn't.
Okay.
We are not calling for anybody to be in doom.
Oh no, but
All right,
that's
all
what
right,
I'm
but-
saying.
but-
I think that we are
but
analyzing.
we are trying
I think
to-
what we've done on the matter is that
We have
at our own this thing about it. But I think what we're trying to do now is trying to use the legal basis or the little law that we know to remind everybody that is related to this to be law abiding as much as possible, and then most importantly, speak to your lawyer and know exactly what you are doing, particularly
But-
if
but-
lawyers were not
but
party
Sadiq,
to your
I
contract.
want you to answer me
Kwesi.
this one
Kwesi.
quickly.
Please.
Do any of the artists have a stake to claim? For example, that if the company bought me a house as part of my contractual obligation as an artist, intellectual property give, and I was paid. Do you think that the state can go and say that, okay, they bought you a house, so you bring the house?
No, firstly, you need to recognize that was the house given to you? Was the document, is it
In
for
your
you?
name?
Is it in your name? or it's party to your process. Yes.
So then, I mean,
So
there's no
it's not in
issue.
their names when they've got a court order.
Yeah,
Important to-
there's no
order
issue.
say bring it back, at least for now. If later on you bring it back where you say, okay, oh, I have this particular car. The car no dey my name is in the company's name. I was given to me, but I don't have the documentation. But this is it. Then you can that's the first step to being a law-abiding citizen, and then now you can start a process to say, well, it was you talk to. That's why I say talk to your lawyers. Then your lawyers will advise you on what to do. On okay, I was in contract, and then my contract hasn't ended, and so far this is what I've provided my obligation. They're also supposed to provide the obligation and all of that. Your lawyers will advise you on what to do and the next line of action.
Right. I just want to ask you a quick question.
That'll be the
A quick question.
Yeah, I was a surface.
I stand to be correct. I stand to be corrected.
About
Is
the proceeds
of
of that money that was even used to sign the contract with you.
that is if it is proven
Yes.
that in actual fact it was a crime.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Somebody's
Or were
punishing.
monies taken
I
from
have a
in
question
order
for
to
you
put
guys.
in
I
xylophone.
stand to be corrected though. Is the EOCO the release that came? Is it time bound?
Okay, no, they didn't
No,
indicate
they
the
didn't
timing.
indicate that.
They didn't give
It's
timing.
not time bound.
No, it's not time bound.
Okay.
Right, Ashes, please come in.
Yeah.
Well, you go talk. Well,
What is there to talk about?
Right.
Great.
You want to tell us, say, make your advice. Say,
Oh, you guys cry. We can't like cry with this. Man. Allow them, man. He's trying to
I
speak.
listen to everybody quietly. They don't know go listen.
Make you no mind them.
when I can sit the down in my senior, what I go do? Why bite?
See, it's not a pleasant sight to wake up one morning and you've lost your job. And no matter how the situation is, people are going to go home. They have families to feed and everything. That's one side to sympathize with. The other side too is people who are also grieving of their monies locked up, and they are also seeking justice. So it's a very dicey situation on how you look at it. But me, where would I talk from? I can only talk from the arts point of view, and I can only sympathize from the arts point of view. You understand me? I have friends from Xylophone Media who are, like, you know, at this moment in this fix, you know. Last night I had a convo with a few of them, and it's not going to be easy, you know, though they are hoping that things will turn around. But that's like my learned friends have said, this is a matter of law, you know, and law has no respect for emotions or
Any person.
any person. It deals directly, you know. So what they've said, a couple of them have made some real good suggestions. It's best any of these signees or ambassadors or whatever seek legal advice. Just this Monday, I was in court I had to go help a friend out on some issue. And I learned a lot from a guy who was picked by the police for holding just a mobile phone. And then his argument was he was holding it. He wasn't talking on the phone. He had the call and he just looked at it and he didn't. I'm digressing a little bit though. He didn't answer.
Still driving. He was still in his car.
And he was making a case for himself. The judge asked him if he needed a lawyer. He said no. He could answer this because he's not at fault. They should ask the policeman if he was old. Did he see him answer the phone? Now the judge said, okay, now that you've opened the case, it's a fine case. Go and bring the police because your
MTT
laws,
regulations.
and let's read that section. Now, when they read, the law states that do not hold any electronic gadgets.
Yes, whilst even driving.
Case closed.
I really know.
So then the judge said, now that you have defended your own case and you've lost, I'm giving you 8 months. Cool.
For them.
Yes, so sometimes you might think you know the law, but you don't know until you have studied, until you've been advised, until you've been counseled. So in this week of events, I would plead with everybody who's related with Xylophone, Men's Gold, to just keep mute for now and seek proper advice before they talk.
Today, Willie Roy say no go talk. Oh.
Most of these.
No, he says he won't speak. He says he's been advised not to speak.
No,
but he's putting a lot of things out on Facebook. He's also communicating.
And I'm thinking
this morning I've seen about 10 posts from him.
Communicating not today.
Yeah, so if he says he's not going to speak, but he wants to write, Hey, really, why? If you don't want to speak, don't write.
Right.
Please, Willie.
No, as far as he is right.
Charlie,
Oh,
allow the man to breathe.
No,
Which kind of problem? That's what he wants to do. Let him do. But we will advise every other person involved to take it easy right now and then seek counseling. Sometimes, brains is not in one man's head. Somebody will tell you just one thing, and if you think through it, it can save you from future troubles. Because this matter is not dying anytime soon. It will go, they would open it, they would close it, till they get to the bottom of this issue. I sympathize with the whole xylophone fraternity, but all I'll say is, let's not rush in passing judgments. Let's all take it easy for now. Let the lawyers do their talking. Let the celebrities and signees go seek proper redress on this issue before any of them grant any interview. Because what you say, like they're saying, at this point in time, anything you say, once it goes on record, someday it will be used against you. They will call you that you said this thing 10 years ago, and I'll come and answer for it. So let's all be careful with this issue. And life goes on. I mean, people will bounce back. People will find their lives back again. It's not the end of the world.
Oh, it's cancelled.
But I also
Someone just sent a message. So if they want to take everything from Men's Go and the artists, then they should go to GFA and take the sponsorship package as well.
No, but that thing
I think
didn't come
sign.
off.
It didn't come off.
Yeah.
Oh, it came off. They made part payment.
But that was when the number
payment
12
to the
came,
club.
the number 12 exposed.
But there was an
came.
initial payment that was given to GFA from the information we have, which was distributed to the club.
And that money
Clubs.
has been distributed.
Oh yeah, by now they
Oh,
talk.
have you done? All right, now she
The
comments
state
says,
has to pay. The state has to pay.
Of course.
she comments says, much respect to Sadiq. His submissions this week has been top notch. Deep analysis there. Hey, Sadiq. Some weeks there, people they give you fans. Some weeks there, they go, they bash you.
Let me show you there.
Yeah.
That's our business.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Plenty of them coming in. Colonel Lipolipo says, who should comfort who? When they were enjoying their monies, did they comfort us?
Kill the polipo.
I don't think there's a proper time for
The name
this.
is funny me, right?
There's not a proper time. In fact, yesterday, when I saw the letter,
There's a lot of hate speech going on this thing, which is unfortunate.
I felt very, very bad.
And some people are also tagging some of us that you are happy, you are this, you are that.
Why would
We'll be happy in a brother's
why
misfortune.
would
Well,
we
anyway, I'm
such
not happy in a
misfortune?
brother's misfortune.
Why must we be happy?
You see, when sometimes you report an issue, and that means you shouldn't even smile. Don't even.
I mean, it be some way.
I think it's also.
She comments says, honestly, excuse me.
Smile.
Guys, please, guys. Honestly, I feel very secure for all those who are affiliated with this bad timing for them. Now, Evans Jr. Fee says, man, this is very sad, but when you remember how some of the xylophone workers had been jabbing my beloved multimedia crew, I still have to laugh small. So Shatta is returning back to the greenhouse in Nima. Kumikita, welcome your 6 packs, right? You see, these are some of the things. It's not, as I said, it's not really fair to make this kind of look.
The hate speech is very, very unfortunate. I think that we need to desist on the hate speech.
This is not proper.
It's not cool.
This is not proper. I mean, all jokes aside, let's put all issues aside. This whole Shatta wale up and down me and him are having. If today they are to take all his belongings, I won't be happy. How does he feed his children? How does he live his life?
The Shatta has a couple of properties before signing on.
That's not the issue.
But why are people actually even focusing on
That's
zoning?
not- that's not
I
the
don't
issue.
even know why
What is
people
that?
would want to.
That is not the
toe
issue.
that
Actually
line.
even zoning.
You have
on
$100,000 and somebody adds $1 to it, and I take that dollar away. It will affect you in a way.
We don't know.
Regardless,
Why
but
must
for
you
me,
be-
it's
why must you
unfortunate
be
how we
happy?
want to focus on that Shatta wale and then take him. I mean, the hate speech going on. It's not only
It's
Shatta wale.
not-
I've seen a lot
it's
of
not
people
cool.
tagging people and all of
It's
that.
not cool.
The hate speech is not.
I saw an image on. I saw a meme on social media this morning. Shatta wale and then Stonebwoy crying, and then people are writing all sort of funny stuff, and I'm like,
It's not cool.
this
They are
is so.
crying.
It's not cool.
You haven't seen that meme yet.
It's not cool.
You should look out.
I mean,
for
how
it.
do you see
It's
Stonebwoy?
really bad,
so
you know?
Stonebwoy is going to suffer and you're happy. Shatta wale is going to suffer. You're going to suffer. You're happy.
Nkrumah's
Xylophone
not-
FM is closed and you are happy.
And that is why I have decided
not cool.
not to go on the journey of, even with the individuals, but looking at the
Exactly.
entirety
Yes.
of the situation that we find ourselves as a country. Because as I'm
It's an
talking to
industry,
you
yes,
now,
in fact.
it's an industry. as far as also people also have invested huge sums of money to there. What are we also those people who have invested millions of Ghana cedis?
What happens to them?
What happens to them today? As we are talking, that people are crying in their homes. People cannot even come. Businesses are shut down. People cannot even afford to buy food for themselves because all their life savings is being stuck into this entity. So it's a double S this thing.
All right, thank you very much. Now, at the Rock one says, even if your money is locked up with SNIT, you need court order to get back and locked money. All right, thank you very much. More tweets. Shikome says, it's unfortunate this is happening at a time we thought this is a generational changer in the industry. Aigbeni Prince Dogbeda says, Prince Shaga, by the time you finish this conversation, some people will come after you. You know how people believe that you guys and multimedia in general are happy about the folding up of Xylophone Media. Look, first of all, multimedia, we are not. I'm trying to use a proper word. Sorry?
Multimedia is a whole organization.
No, I mean like we are happy. We are not
in competition with anybody. Let's just
no. That like we don't like we are not shedding Fridays. Do you understand? Like we don't.
Ola, wait.
You don't get it. I mean, like
Ola.
We don't want. You are what?
Ola, please come and give me them.
Don't sound fried chicken.
Ola should come and give me the interpretation.
No, but you know,
You are
like,
not fried chicken.
My dictionary is here. My dictionary is here. Ola, My dictionary is here.
He didn't know what I'm saying. I said we are not happy.
Satisfied. No, the other one. Yeah.
What language is it?
So the man is trying to speak. The man is trying to speak. Allow him to speak.
No, I said shedding Fridays.
You are what?
That's an English word.
Well, shedding Fridays.
Shedding Fridays.
Shedding Fridays.
Shedding Fridays.
But
don't you guys? Why is it that you're making English? You're making English so.
No, it could be a noun.
Don't you know this word, Ola?
I know, bro. It means like you being happy because of somebody's bad.
Is in trouble or something.
Can you be shedding?
You guys, can you make
the lawyers are out of context.
No. You guys.
You're out of order.
First of all.
And the spell it for them. I mean, it's SCHANDREUD.
You see, on the most of you guys make English very, very. Now you guys are spoiling.
But you don't do that.
Spelling bee. We know.
Yeah, exactly.
No can disturb our life.
For those of us at Nima 1BA. For those of us at Nima 1BA. For those of us from Nima 1BA. We're very particular about this words. For those of us from Nima 1BA.
It's a
German word.
So it's not even an English word.
No. It's a German word.
It's a German word.
Even you didn't pronounce it. When I pronounce it differently, you also pronounce it differently. Let's do the pronunciation test.
German, it's not English.
So now it's a German word.
You couldn't have learned this in Prempeh.
Yes. Yeah, but it's not very common. You should have told us that this is where you are picking the thing from.
No,
you live in America. So